Life by Divine with Sue Dumais fosters deep healing and profound awakenings as she guides you to hear, answer, and trust the highest calling of your heart. Your host and sacred guide is global impact visionary leader Sue Dumais, a best-selling author, international speaker, and gifted intuitive healer who challenges all of us to shift from life by default or even life by design to truly living life by divine. And now, here is Sue Dumais.
Welcome to the show. It's an honor for me to be here once again and to share my heart and the message that comes through me. The radio show is a beautiful platform for me to be able to really allow the messages to come through in the way that they're meant to come through, with the divine timing that they're meant to come through. So today, I didn't really have an idea of what I was going to talk about. And what I'm really inspired to speak about right now is the idea of change and our relationship with change. What I'm finding more and more is that we are programmed to fear change, yet change is inevitable. We are programmed to avoid change, yet change is unavoidable. Change happens whether we want it to or not. Change is constant. It is reliable. It's happening. It's something that we can't avoid. In truth, what I started to recognize is that, yes, people are afraid of change. Yes, many people are terrified of change. And many people avoid change as much as they can. But the truth is, humanity is hungry for change. On a deeper level, we are hungry for change. We are so ready for change. And we need to shift how we've been doing things on this planet. It's non-negotiable. We can't keep doing what we've been doing. And in fact, people are trying to do that. People are trying to continue to do what they've always done. And it's not working. We can't do that anymore. Things have changed and shifted to the point where we can't do that anymore. So the question then really becomes, can you embrace change? Can you accept it, for one? And then how can you embrace it? Can you accept change as inevitable? Can you accept the changes that are occurring? Can you accept the changes that are not occurring, that perhaps you want to have happen? And how can you embrace change? Embracing change is really our only option. Resisting change causes a lot of pain and suffering and creates way more challenges and way more problems and moves us further and further away from solutions. Embracing change is the answer for humanity. It's then when we can embrace change, it's in those times where we can become solutions, where we can invite creative solutions to come through us, where we can shift our awareness away from pointing at the problems, and we can start to really begin to invite creative solutions. If we are resisting change, we are part of the problem. When we embrace and accept change, we become part of the solution. You can look in any direction right now and see that things are not what they used to be. You can look at your own life, you can look at other people's lives, you can look at how corporations run, you can look at how we view businesses, you can look at what customers are demanding in the way of customer service. We can look at any aspect. We can look at relationships. You can look at any aspect of your life. And you can look in any direction right now and see that change is happening. It has been happening and it is happening. And when we can actually embrace and accept it, we can actually align with the present moment. We can align with what is. And it's in that deep presence of what is and that deep acceptance of what is where we stop resisting and we start accepting and allowing. That's where we can open up space for creative solutions. That's where we can open up our minds. That's where we can receive guidance from within. When we sit in resistance, we're actually aligning with the ego as our teacher. And the ego is the master teacher of fear. The ego wants to keep us safe. It wants us to keep us playing small. It wants to protect us. But at this point, the ego is holding us back. Our ego is actually keeping us stuck, running on a hamster wheel, keeping us away from the life that we're meant to live, keeping us from shining our light, keeping us from stepping up, from standing on stage, from speaking our truth. The ego is going to keep you and hold you back from standing up for somebody else's rights or somebody else's challenges. The ego would hold you back and make you bite your tongue when the spirit within you is saying, get out there and speak your truth. Stand up on that stage. Share your message. Shine the brightest light you possibly can. Be the brightest beacon of love that you possibly can. The world doesn't need you to play small. The world doesn't need you to play it safe. Humanity doesn't need you to hide. Hope for humanity lies in our willingness to stand up, to stand out, and stand strong. To stand up inside of ourselves and to stand up together united. United within our cultures, united within our tribes, our cities, our communities, whatever it is, united within our every aspect of our being, inside and outside of ourselves. We need to stand united. The ego would have us believe that we're separate and we're divided. But the truth is, we're connected and we are united. No matter how separate we feel, no matter how separate or divided we appear, on the deepest level, we are connected. We are united. So the question then becomes, what are you willing to do to face your fear, to embrace change, and to play your part? Playing small is not serving anyone. And playing small for one person It doesn't mean that you need to stand on stage, you need to write a book, or you need to be out there in the world in some kind of global scale. Playing small can look like you not speaking your truth in a moment where you know in your heart you're meant to. Playing small may be you not speaking up when you see something happening around you that you know you're meant to say something about. Playing small may look like you taking a different position in your work, one that's kind of safer, quieter, one that you can hide in the background and blend in. Playing small might be you not speaking up when you see an incident of bullying or harassment. It takes courage to follow your heart. It takes courage to trust your intuition. It takes courage to face your fear. It takes courage to stand up, to stand out, and to stand strong. But there is a divine courage within you. There's a divine courage within each one of us. And all we need to do in that moment is gather 20 seconds of courage. Just take 3 deep breaths. Gather 20 seconds of courage and speak and stand up and share and inspire and empower. Face your fear. Face it head on. Breathe through it, walk through it, move through it, free yourself from it. No more delay. No more hiding. No more pretending. It doesn't work anymore. We can't do that anymore. What used to work is no longer working. It is time for you to stand up inside of yourself and say yes fully to the role that you're meant to play in the way that you're meant to play it. Whatever that looks like. However big or however small it appears on the outside, it's a big deal for you on the inside. And it requires courage. And some of you that are hearing my voice, you're already doing it. And some of you that are hearing my voice, you're already doing it in certain ways, but you're holding back in other ways. I want to encourage you not to hold back anymore. Now, inspired action doesn't mean you go out and say something to everyone. Inspired action doesn't mean you run out and take action in every aspect. Inspired action is for you to tune into your heart and ask, what role am I meant to play? And if you see something, asking your heart, am I meant to say something? Am I meant to take action? What would you have me do now? Letting your inner spirit guide you and lead you, because your heart is a bridge to that global perspective. Your heart is a bridge to your soul, to your spirit, and that is giving you guidance that is serving all of humanity, including you. It's serving everyone, everywhere, all together, all at once, including you. So the only thing that ever stops us from following our heart is ourselves. You need to get out of your own way. It's as simple as that, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Because the ego is so convincing. The ego is like a helicopter parent that is telling you to be cautious, to be careful, to watch out, to not trust, to be afraid. And I'm here to tell you that you do not need fear anymore. You do not need to believe in fear. You do not need to buy into it anymore. It is actually not serving you. It is holding you back, and it is holding everyone else back. The ego would convince us that love hurts, that we should be afraid of love, that love isn't powerful enough, isn't strong enough. But that force of love that comes through us, not our human love, our human capacity to love is limited, but that divine love, our true essence, is powerful. It's a force beyond measure. It's a force that has the potential to impact everyone. It is a force that can change the entire world in an instant. If we all stopped filtering everything through our mind and all the fear disappeared, and we allowed ourselves to live from the heart in every decision, the world would change in an instant. We would unleash our unlimited potential. Solutions, creative solutions would come in, and an alignment would come in. An alliance would come in. Unification of all of humanity would occur. That is what's possible if we were to get out of our heads and into our hearts and let the divinity within us lead the way. The world would change in an instant if we had no filters of fear that we were making decisions through. And in that, we would have no filters of judgment. That is the world I wish to live in. That is the world I wish to inspire people to step into. And that requires all of us accepting and embracing change. Because there's change that's being called forth right now on a global scale that will take work. That will require a lot of people to let go of a lot of things that they're attached to. There is change being called forth right now that requires that we do things differently than we have. And it requires us to stop doing certain things that we know in our hearts are causing harm to the planet and harm to other people. It requires a renegotiation of how we handle finances, business, relationships, food, fuel, communication, everything. We are being called to renovate everything. When you do a renovation in a house, some things can change. Some of the bones of the house are good. Some of the foundations are good. Most of the foundation that we've been standing on as humanity is crumbling away because it's built on fear. It's been built on this programming that is no longer serving. It has been built on people's ego's agenda, which is fear-based. It has been built on power. It has been built on greed. It has been built on violence. And that foundation is crumbling away. That's actually good news. Because everything that's been hidden up until now is getting revealed. Everything that's been hidden up until now is coming into the light for healing. As long as we can see it and witness it and recognize it, we can change. The moment we have an awareness, change has already begun. When things remain hidden and in our blind spots, that's where they stay stuck and in place. So this is not just humanity calling for this shift. This is the planet. This is everything about our experience here on this earth, in this timeline. All of it is being called forth to be revealed, to be reviewed, and to be renovated. Everything that needs to be revealed will come to the surface and be shown. Everything that we need to heal will be revealed in order to heal. All of it's coming to the surface. People are showing their true colors, not their true colors in the way of who they are, the truth of who they are, but who they have been as a human being. How the ego has hijacked them. How fear is actually leading their way, their decisions, their life, their choices. That is all changing. That is all coming into the light. All of the dark shadows, all of our hidden regrets and fears and blame and shame is all being washed up to the surface for healing. And those that are prepared to face those feelings, to feel them fully, to express them in safe and healthy ways, will move through those dense layers. Those that are reaching out for support will move through those dense layers. Those that have been doing the work for a while, like myself, I feel like I've done some really intense, deep work for a long, long time to prepare for this, so that I've actually built a bridge so I can reach back and say, hey, or take my hand, let me help you. I know how to do this part. I know how to heal this layer. I've done it myself. I can help you do it. There's many light leaders. There's many light workers. There's many people that have woken up before to prepare for this great awakening, to help people, to help them navigate the shift, to help them navigate their path and take the steps they need to, the necessary steps they need to in order to heal the leftovers so that they can step into their fullest expression of who they're meant to be in this world and to live the life that they're meant to be living right now. Most of the population is still scratching the surface. And if you're listening to my voice, chances are you're not one who's just scratching the surface still, but probably you're one of those people that are going to help those that are. And in order to help those that are still scratching the surface, you need to do the work as deeply as you possibly can. So facing your own shadows, facing your own fear, embracing change, and learning how to embrace your humanness, but embody your divinity at the same time, because it's our divine nature, that force that comes through each of us, that's actually going to help us shift what's happening in the world right now. And it's going to help us lift others up and empower them to do the same. So it's not one or two people that are going to make the difference. It's one or two people that are going to help the one or two people that are going to help the one or two people. And it's that ripple effect. Never, ever underestimate the power of one choice for love. All it takes is one choice for love to impact change in a positive way. There's a lot of negative change. There's a lot of harmful change that is not serving. That's how it's been for a long time. Now we're being called to shift to the other side and to embrace change in the way of how do we heal the wounds of humanity? How do we heal the collective wounds of humanity and the individual wounds? How do we help others heal within themselves and around themselves, within their communities? How do we create these pockets of unification? How do we allow and enable and embrace these pockets of unification? So different cultures coming together, unifying, joining, people of color coming together, unifying, feeling empowered, speaking their truth, saying what you've been doing all this time is not okay anymore. It never was okay, but now we're saying something. So please listen. The challenge is when people come together in these pockets of global unification. So you're seeing it, women coming together and standing up and saying, no more, not anymore, we're done. And what's happening is men are getting triggered. The pockets of unification that women are experiencing are triggering the wounds and the collective guilt in men. Not all men are guilty of these things, but they'll feel the collective inherited guilt from the masculine. That's what's rising up. So we don't need men to stand in defense for themselves, especially if they're innocent, especially if they haven't done anything. They need to stand united with women. They need to stand united with men. These pockets of global unification on a surface level look like separation. So women coming together and taking a stand, we're not standing against men, we're standing up for our own well-being. People of color are coming together and they're standing up and saying no more. These things are not okay, and we won't tolerate them anymore. Change is necessary, and they are inspiring change. At the same time, other groups are being triggered. That's the good news. When they are triggered, their wounds are coming to the surface. Their collective energies, their leftovers, their old trauma, all of it's coming to the surface for healing. So if you feel guilty when someone talks about white privilege because you're a white person, then feel that guilt. Go into that shame. Feel that for yourself. Feel it fully. Let it express itself through you so that when you can respond instead of react, you can respond from love versus react from defense. That was my process in the beginning. Every time someone would talk about white privilege, I would get defensive and talk about, isn't that reverse racism? And how is this, unifying us? This feels like it's separating us. That was where I went to. That was my default setting because I was in defense, because I didn't understand it. And I didn't understand the guilt I felt. It wasn't my guilt. It was the collective guilt of all white people that I was feeling. When I recognized that and started to move that energy and allow myself just to feel it, it's the expression of the energy that needs to happen. That's what emotions are, energy in motion. When we allow it to move and express itself, it's then and only then that we can shift from reacting in defense to responding with love. It's in our defenselessness where we can meet others with love. We can meet their wounds. We can meet their truth. We can meet them taking their stand. We can meet their global unification or their pocket of unification and meet it with love. All of these wounds are coming to the surface, whether we want them to or not. Change is happening, whether we want it to or not. It always has been happening, but it's happening at a quickening state, and it's happening at a level of intensity that it's never ever happened like this before. And it's so important right now that we stand up inside of ourselves with courage to face our wounds, to feel our guilt, whether it's ours or the collective, to feel what feelings are rising up, to create some space and recognize the fear and take action in spite of the fear. True courage is not taking action when the fear disappears. True courage is taking action in the presence of the fear. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyways. Our willingness to be vulnerable, our willingness to put ourselves out there, our willingness to show up when humanity needs us most. And the truth is, what humanity really needs is what you truly, really need. It's one and the same. It's one and the same. Your needs and humanity's needs are the same. We're all part of this planet. Mother Earth needs us. And it needs us all to stand up and play the role that we're meant to play. If there's something you're meant to speak out on, if there's a cause that's near and dear to your heart, follow that. Stand up and speak. Be the voice. Be that beacon of love. Be that symbol of change. Be that voice of hope and inspiration and motivation. Just be the change. Be that, what you are meant to be in that moment. Stand up and be it. No more delay. I can feel the energy of humanity right now calling for change. We are hungry for it. All of us are. As humans, we are hungry for change. And as humans, we're terrified of it. But the only way to free all of us is to stand united in love. And the only way that we can do that is to stand united in love within ourselves first. To the capacity, to the level, to the depth that you are capable of right now, just do it and trust that it will be enough. And in the next moment, maybe you just shifted a little bit more. Maybe you raised the roof a little bit more in your capacity to love. Maybe you raised a little bit more in your capacity to be courageous. But I guarantee you are not going to overcome fear by sitting in fear and doing nothing. You are not going to be more courageous by sitting in fear and hiding. And you are never going to overcome fear by waiting for it to go away and never come back. The only way to face fear and be free from it is to move through it, to take action in spite of it, to have the courage to stand up and say, I'm going to do this because I know in my heart I'm meant to. I'm going to say this because I know in my heart I'm meant to. And some people will appreciate it and others won't. But that's none of your business. Your business is to follow your heart, to speak your truth, to take inspired action in spite of the fear. That's your work. That's your business. The impact, that's not up to you. You can trust there'll be impact. And some people will appreciate it. There's people that are waiting, that are hungry to hear your message, that are starving for hope and inspiration. They're starving for solution. Humanity's hungry right now. Change is inevitable. Change is upon us. It always has been. But the depth of change right now, the call for change right now, has never been this strong. And we're talking about change on a planetary scale, change to the climate, change to how we are in relationship to each other, but also how we are in relationship to nature, how we are in relationship to Mother Earth. All of it needs to be looked at. And all of our little choices in each day add up to create big impact. My son asked me the other day, he went through something in the garbage, and I'm like, no, that's recycling, take it out. It's just one thing, it's just one small piece of plastic. Yes, it is. Take it out and recycle it. One small piece of plastic. What if all of us picked up one small piece of plastic from the ocean? Each of us, just one piece. One small piece, one small act, one choice has global impact. And that one choice begins within you, right here, right now. What are you going to do? Make a choice for love? Or stay imprisoned by fear? Let fear paralyze you? Or let it fuel you? Let it fuel the courage that's already there. And say, I'm going to take inspired action in spite of the fear. And yes, your one small choice has great impact. There's a ripple effect that you can't even begin to orchestrate or imagine. But it requires that each one of us say yes to play our part. However small our part looks, it has a big impact. However big our part looks, it has a big impact. Play your part. Are you willing to play your part? That's all I'm asking. And it's a big ask. I get that. It's a big ask. Because right now there's a big calling for change. Change is happening, and the calling for change within us is strong. And I need you to say yes. Humanity needs you to say yes. The earth needs you to say yes. We are at a powerful choice point right now. A more powerful choice point than ever before. And the potential is massive. We could change and shift everything that's happened. Everything that's happening could turn on a dime. If all of us, everywhere, all together, all at once, made a conscious choice for love and said yes to play our part, the whole world would change in an instant. I'm open to that miracle. I am wide open to that miracle. And at the same time, I'm not holding out for it. I'm not waiting for other people to change or other people to play their part. I'm playing my part, and I'm playing it full out as much as I possibly can. What about you? What does your part look like? Are you afraid to play it? Are you afraid to say yes? And if you are, that's okay. That's human nature. That's part of your programming. But it's not the truth of who you are. You are bigger than fear. You are stronger than fear. You are more courageous than fear. Fear is not the boss of you. It's not the boss of me. Although the ego would love to think that it is. When we follow our hearts, when we make a conscious choice for love, the potential for change is extraordinary. And humanity needs extraordinary change. Humanity needs extraordinary love right now. Mother Earth needs extraordinary measures. There are many things we need to change and shift. And there are many things that are already in motion. And there's way more people that are willing to stand up and speak than ever before. And the young generation right now, there are some key players that are standing up to play their part, and they are creating massive waves. And these waves of change are inspiring other young people to stand up as well. And they don't need to stand alone. They don't need to be the one standing up and leading the path. We don't need a billion pioneers. We need people that are willing to stand alone so that they can create the movement, so that people can gather behind them and say, okay, yes, lead the way. We will follow you. We believe in you. We believe in what you're saying. We believe in your message, and we will follow you. That's what the Heart Yes movement is about. It's a global healing movement to wake people up to say yes, to play their part, to say yes, to live the life that they're meant to live, to say yes to the love and divinity and everything that comes from living in alignment with their heart. It's so much bigger than me. It's a movement that is so much bigger than me. Yet I'm the one that's here leading the way with that particular movement. And there's many examples of that in the world, of people who are leading the way in their particular movement, the movement that they feel and know and embody in their heart. The seed was planted within each of us. The potential was planted within each of us. And when we allow it to grow, when we water it, when we give the sun and the light it needs, we say yes to it. Yes is a fuel for it. It's an amazing, passionate fuel for it. The energy of yes has such energizing potential. And when we step into that, and when we align with that, we become these magnets attracting those individuals that we're meant to work with or align with or collaborate with, connect with. It becomes the people just are drawn to us like this beacon of light, like this beautiful lighthouse where the ships are like, there, it's that direction. There's the light, go there. We become these beacons of love. a lighthouse which illuminates the path for others to find us, to arrive and hear what we need to say, hear what we're meant to say. And it'll inspire them. It'll be the fuel for the fire within them. It will ignite their heart, yes. It will water their seed. It will shine light on their path so that they can step into their heart's movement. What is your heart yes movement? What are you inspired? What cause are you inspired to get behind? Whether that's standing and helping people that are living in poverty, whether that's climate change, whatever it is for you, whatever it is for you, just say yes to it. Please just say yes to it. And then be willing to face your fear, gather that divine courage within you, and take inspired action. Do that over and over and over again. Just press repeat. You don't need a reset button, you need a repeat button. Say yes to the calling of your heart. Say yes to play your part. Say yes to do that on a global scale, whatever that looks like. And a global scale could be you speaking to a group of students and then them going out and having that global reach. That could be you sharing one video, one message. That could be you writing one book. That could be you having one conversation with one person. That could be you standing up to one person and saying, what you're doing is not okay. Stop. Whatever that is, trust it's going to have the impact it's meant to have. One person can create a huge, massive wave of change, positive change, necessary change, long-lasting, global impacting change. Never underestimate the power of one. One person, one heart yes. One choice for love. That is all it takes. You are that one person. And you have a heart yes within you. And you have a choice in every moment to choose love. To choose love in the presence of fear, to choose love in spite of the fear, to choose love no matter what's happening in that moment. One choice for love has immeasurable potential. Choose love now. Right now. Choose love now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday. Now, in this moment, and every moment that follows. What would love do? What would love say? What would love look like right now? What would love in action look like right now? Spirit, what would you have me do now? What now? It's in this moment and every moment that follows that we have the potential to choose love and to align with positive, impacting, global, reaching change. Change is not something to be feared. We've been programmed to fear it. We don't need to be afraid of it anymore. Make a choice right here, right now, to embrace change, to say yes to change, to say yes to playing your part in this global shift, this global change, this call for love. The earth is calling, humanity is calling. We are all calling for love, all of us, even those that are showing up and being violent. It's a call for love. It's disguised as violence and projection, but underneath it, it's a call for love. And the more we can meet love with love, the more we can meet fear with love, love will expand. Instead of meeting their fear with your fear, meet their fear with love, and love will expand. They may not change, they may not shift, they may resist more, they may even lash back, but your choice for love is more powerful than any choice for fear. And it has great potential. This message came so clearly and so strongly for me today. And my prayer is that it lands so deeply within you, that it impacts you so profoundly that you can't help but to take action, that you can't help but to move through your fear and make a choice for love. That everything inside of you feels the depth of this message and aligns with that energy of yes. Yes, I'm willing to play my part. Yes, I am willing to choose love. Yes, I am willing to speak my truth. Yes, I am willing to stand up inside of myself and stand out and stand strong so that we can eventually all stand united. Start with yes. Are you willing to say yes right now, right here in this moment? Are you willing to feel that energy of yes expand in your heart and let it fill your mind and dissolve the fear enough for you to stand up? Tune into your heart and ask, what now? What is my part? What would you have me do? Show me the way. And no matter what, I am willing to take that action in spite of the fear, in spite of what other people say, in spite of the reaction from others, knowing that every time you follow your heart, you are serving all of us, everywhere, all together, all at once. Just say yes. It is time to accept and embrace change. It is time for you to stand up and say yes. To be an ambassador for global change. The world needs you. And the beautiful thing is, you have been training your entire life for this very moment, and you are ready. And your ego will convince you you're not, your mind will convince you you're not, but I assure you, you are ready. And the world is ready for you. There are actually people waiting to hear your message, to hear your voice, to be in your presence. Be the change. Embrace change. Become an ambassador for humanity. Become an ambassador for Mother Earth. And please, just play your part. That's all I ask. I believe in you. I know you can do this. You're ready for this. You were born ready for this. You've been training your entire life for this moment, right here, right now. Just say yes. Activate that shift within yourself. And let your beautiful divine spirit guide you every step of the way. I believe in you. I see you. I appreciate you. The world needs you. Just say yes. If you need to reach out, I am here to support you on your beautiful path. I love you. Until next time, namaste.
You've been listening to Life by Divine with your host, Sue Dumais. Shift your consciousness from head to heart and enliven your soul as you discover how to lead with your heart and live your own life by divine. Join Sue in the growing global heart-led living community at heartledliving.com. That is heart, L-E-D, living.com.